Radical.
Here on Radical Rick, we answer the serious questions. You know, sometimes we talk about new consoles like the Steam Deck. Sometimes we talk about whether or not a YouTuber's ex-girlfriend smelled like cheese. That was a claim made by Dreamcastguy on his upload. It's the one where he's talking about Dead Space. New leaked Dead Space is coming back. And by the way, that'd be pretty interesting if Dead Space came back. Basically, this is for someone that left a comment a couple days ago wanting me to speak on this. And sometimes when I have time, I'm like, okay, sure, got a couple minutes, it's late at night, nothing else really planned, so we'll talk about this. As silly as it seems. Dreamcastguy in this upload basically told a story. He swung from talking about Dead Space into a personal story about Dead Space 2, in which he was dating a weird, very weird rich girl. I don't know if he used the terminology creepy, I forget, but he said she was a weird, very weird rich girl, and she lived in a mansion. Now, those three things. Dating a weird girl, I could see that as a possibility. You know, someone like Dreamcastguy, I could see him dating a weird girl. Rich mansion, I don't know about that. Because I would say even if the girl is weird, if she was rich and she lived in a mansion, she could probably do a little better than Dreamcastguy. I'm just saying. That's, you know, I mean, maybe that's not fair. Maybe that's unfair. I'm just putting my, I'm putting my mind into the mind of a rich girl with a mansion. You got options. If you're rich and you have a mansion, you got options, right? But let's say this was real. Let's say he's actually doing this. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt in this one. Okay, let's say he did have an ex-girlfriend. Oh yeah, and the cheese thing, by the way, answering the question really quick before I move on to something else. There's no way for me to know if she smelled like cheese, because at the end of the upload, he's basically scratching his chin going, you know, I wonder if I could still hit her up and get in touch with her. You know, she smelled just like cheese. Almost like it's a great thing. You know, almost like he wanted to hit her up because she smelled like cheese. It's weird, right? Because if I had an ex-girlfriend, she smelled like cheese, I would probably want to avoid her. I'm going to do a quick Google search here. How common is smelling like cheese? Okay, the two things pop up. Stinky cheese offers a whiff of knowledge about our body's cheese-like vaginal odor symptoms, causes in common. Whoa. Maybe Dreamy's more of a freak than I thought he was. Because right here, apparently the cheese comes from the vaginal canal, so maybe I'm really into cheesy... What's up, gamers? I'm really into cheesy vag smells. Okay, I'm going to finish this up by talking about this insane story he tells about being with his girlfriend at this mansion and him falling into a sickness. I forget exactly what sickness he specified, but he's not feeling well. He's feeling terrible, and he tells his girlfriend to go get him Dead Space 2. Well, she goes out to get him Dead Space 2, and he spends the whole weekend basically playing through Dead Space 2. Sick. Not only like sick, like I've played games like sick before. In fact, it's a great thing to do when, you know, you're too sick or you have a cold and, you know, you don't want to go anywhere. You're like, okay, I'll just fire up the Xbox. I'll play a game or something like that. But he's talking about some weird shit, like being in between two planes of existence. I didn't even understand it. You know, he was very... He's using his hand gestures. He's telling the story. He's committed to it. He's committed to the story. And for what it is, I'm like, for a Dreamcastguy story? I mean, sure, he's lying, but at least, you know, I'm not going to go as far as to say entertaining, but he's really active into it. So I got a couple giggles from the story. He talks about how he's in Dead Space 2, but he feels like he's actually in the game, or he can't discern reality from the game. Listen, he must have been on some drugs or something. Maybe he got some stuff Maybe he got some stuff from one of his YouTube gaming buddies like Spawnwave or RGT85. I don't know. But that's not how things work. You ask any professional, any medical professional about this, and they would just look at you like, no, you're lying. So I'm not just debunking this. Any medical professional would debunk this. So yeah, overall, not one of the... I mean, this was 10 minutes, and it wasn't particularly painful, I'll say that. Maybe it's just because I'm just having a great weekend. You know, some days I'm like, you want me to check out a Dreamcastguy upload? But at least I tell you, I learned a lot about, cheese smells. And I've never had a girlfriend that smelled like cheese. I never will. But what would be worse is if I was like Dreamcastguy and I developed an affinity for cheesy badges. It's not easy smelling cheesy. Is that how I'm going to end this? Maybe there's a lot more cheese puns you can think of in the comment section down below. Like a block of cheese, I think I found some holes in Dreamy's story.